Hey Katiz,
Good morning, sir.
morning. Why did not join yesterday?
Yesterday I had some stuff going on, so I wasn't available.
Okay, no worries.
Mhm.
So tomorrow is a 25th, right?
Sorry, say it again.
So tomorrow is the Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So guys, tomorrow is a holiday. Okay. So we'll continue from day after tomorrow. So Ayappa, so I will be available in the institute. If you want, you can come. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So what we discussed in the last class, guys, we discussed about the test processing tools and all the basic Linux commands. Okay. So now we are discussing about the mm, user administration. So what is this, guys? User administration. Guys, so Linux file system hierarchy. Please watch Linux file system hierarchy. Please watch the Linux file system hierarchy video at least 5 days, guys. At least 5 times or more. So if you know the Linux file system hierarchy, so if you know the Linux file system hierarchy, so the Linux will be very easy, very easy, guys. Definitely, I will. So make definitely I will give you that confident if you know the Linux file system hierarchy. It will be very easy to learn the Linux because of yeah. So user administration. So user administration. So where the normal user and super users um, home directory in the Linux file system hierarchy. So users are two types. So one is admin user, and the second one is normal normal user. So normal user is nothing but a Hari, Blue Jay, or AZ, or something like a Cadiz. So these all are the Cadiz. These all are the normal users. So who is the admin user, guys? Who is the admin user? Admin user is, guys, who is the super user? Admin user or super user? Who is the admin user or super user, guys? Root is the admin user or super user. Users can be two types, right? So what are the topics we will cover here? We'll cover the topics like users and groups, password. So password. So we'll cover these three topics, guys. So we'll cover these three topics. The the users information will be available. So user information will be available at /etc shadow /etc passwd. So this is the file, all the users information available. The group's information will be available. The group's information will be so available at /etc group. So the password information will be available The password information at /etc shadow. So the passwd and shadow. The user information will be available under the /etc password. The group information available under the /etc group. The password information will be available under the /shadow. Okay. So how many users? One second, guys. I will send you. I will try this user administration. Where is that, guys? The user administration index. Yeah, guys. I have a GitHub account also. We will get from it also. Okay. So this is my GitHub account. So all the materials will be available here. You guys can get it from here also. So Hare Krishna Cheruko 866 is my the GitHub account. Okay. So what is this? Linux material, Linux administration, logical volumes, complete training. And what is that, guys? User administration, Helm, Linux basic commands, Linux absolutor, free namespace, or else we can check it in the YouTube. Git to DevOps docs, complete Linux training course. Yeah, so we will get it from here also. No worries. I already updated Paiva, Linux file system hierarchy, 6 Linux material, 7, 8. Yep, guys. User administration. So what is that, guys? Yeah. So user administration. All users UID or GID starts from 1000 by default. What is UID? What is GID? UID is nothing but a user ID. GID is nothing but a group ID. So every user having their own UID and GID. Every user having their own UID and GID. Oracle, Oracle VirtualBox. If you open the Oracle VirtualBox, then start the AWS, then start the CentOS 9. For example, ID root. If you give the ID root, it will show the UID and JID. UID and JID of the server. Every user having their own UID and JID. So all users UID, JID are starts from by 1000 default. Why? I will tell you. So UID 60,000. So in Linux environment, how many users we can create? 60,000. So Linux is a multi-user, multitasking operating system. Multi-user and multitasking operating system. UID GID starts from 1000 by default. Why 1000? I will tell you. So UID GIDs are 60,000. How many users we can create? So we can create 60,000 users in the Linux environment. 0 to 999 is the system itself uses. So system itself uses. So 0 to 999. 0 is the root user. Root user ID is 0. What is the root user ID? What is the username? Root. What is the password? Red hat. ID root. So what is the ID of the root? Yeah, 0. 0. UID is 0. UID means user ID. Group ID also 0. Groups also 0. Okay. So what is the UID of the root? 0. If you want to create a hurry user. If you want to create a hurry user. So you said right, all users UID GID starts by 1000 onwards. If you create a hurry, it will get the 1000. If you create the Krishna, they will get the 1001. So something like Ezi is 1002, or else Ayyappa. Who is that? Ayyappa. So he will get the 3. So something like a Blue Jay. Blue Jay is the user. Blue Jay is the user. I want a fancy number 1010. So we can provide the that fancy also. We can provide the that fancy also. Guys, understood? Normal user UID starts from 1000 by default, right? So UID GID 60,000. UID 0 and 999 system itself uses root is 0. So 1000 to 60,000 all general user uses. All general user uses from 1000 to 60,000. Okay. So for an user account, primary group is mandatory. What is that? For an user account, primary group is mandatory. If you are not assigning to any group, user itself behaves as a group. Okay. So what is a group, guys? So what is that, guys? Users. So what is that? Users. So user administration. So user administration. So the Linux user administration. So Windows user administration, guys. So Windows users are available here. The users, how many users available? 2 users available. So in the Linux administration, 2 types of users are available. So one is admin user. Admin user is the root user, and normal user. Who is that? Normal user. So normal users UID starts from normal user UID starts from 1000 to 60,000. Okay. So normal users are Hari, so Izzy, or something like a Krishna. So these all are the normal users. So root user is the super user. Root user is the super user. So root user's home directory is /root. So normal user's home directory is /home Hari /home Izzy /home Krishna, and so on. Right? The normal user's home directory is /home. Then our root user's home directory is /root. Right? In the Linux file system hierarchy, /root and /home are the normal user's home directory and root user's home directory. Guys, understood? Yeah. The normal user's UID starts from the 8000 onwards. Root is, what is the UID? User ID is 0. What is the UID of root? Root UID is 0. So 02999 system itself uses 1000 by onwards. We will use the normal users. Okay. Group. So what is a group, guys? What is a group? So group is nothing but Linux engineer. Who is that group? Linux engineer is the group. Cloud engineer is the group. DevOps. So DevOps engineer is the group. These three are the groups. Okay, these three are the groups. What are the group names, guys? So group names are cloud engineer, DevOps engineer, and Linux engineer, right? Yeah. So Hari is related to Linux engineer. Ezi is related to Linux engineer. So Krishna is related to cloud engineer. Krishna is related to cloud engineer. Slash home slash Ayyappa slash home slash Vinay slash home slash Ramo. So these all are the users also. So for example, Ayyappa related to cloud. So Vinay is related to DevOps. So Remo is related to DevOps. So whatever the permissions we provide for the Linux engineer, right? That permissions will assign it to the Hari and Ezi also. So whatever the permissions having the group, the user also having the same permissions. The Ayyappa, Vinay, these people are having the same permissions. Great. So if you create a group and if you create a group and will assign it to the group that people, this whatever the permissions we have for the group, so that will applicable in the users also. Guys, understood now group? Yeah. So for example, are you having a primary group Linux engineer, but the secondary group is DevOps engineer. So right, every user having one primary group and multiple secondary groups. For example, so what is the user? User is BlueJ Tech. Who is that, guys? User is BlueJ Tech. So user is BlueJ Tech. So this user having only one primary group and multiple secondary groups. Multiple secondary groups. So what is the primary group, guys? So primary group is Linux engineer. Okay. But the secondary groups are what are the secondary groups, guys? Cloud engineer and DevOps engineer. Okay. So cloud engineer and DevOps engineer. So right. So every user having one single primary group and multiple secondary groups. Okay. Understood, guys? Yeah. So in the how many users we can create? So we can create 60,000 users. In Linux, we can create 60,000 users. Guys, understood? Yeah, for a user account, primary group is mandatory. Primary group is mandatory. If you are not assigning to any group, user himself behaves as a group. For example, here you are not assigning to any group. The user himself BlueJTech as a primary group. Okay, understood? So group add. How to create the group add to create a system group. Okay, for a user it may be a primary or a secondary group. All the groups information will be available in the /etc group. So group add group name, group add -g gid group name. So group add HR. If you want to specify a particular gid, so you can use the -g option. -g option /etc group is the information. The group information will be available under the /etc group. Okay. So fields in the /etc group name, gid, password, secondary group members. Okay. 192.168.56.122. So I want to increase the font size, change settings, appearance, change, bold, 18. Okay. Apply, root, red hat. Okay. Yeah. So how you can create the group? How you can create the group? Group add, group name. What is the group name? For example, HR. Okay. So where you can see cat/etc group. The information will be available under the file. So what is that? HR. So BlueJTech already created 1000 and HR. So 1001. HR 1001. I want to give a specific group ID to a particular group. Group add -g. So 1010 or something like. Okay. So I want to give it to Linux, Linux engineer. Okay. So cat. So where you can see the information, you can see the information in the cat/etc group. Linux engineers 10,000. Okay. The fields are in the so group name. What is that? This is the group name, GID, and the secondary group members. So it's not added to the secondary group members, right? That's the reason it's not showing. Okay. Yeah, you see. So what is the yeah. So what is the GID for the root? 0. UID 0 because of root is the super user, root is the first user. So you see, these all are the system related users up to 999. So these all are the system related. So from 1000 onwards, it's a user, user UIDs. Okay, next. You understand the user, right? The second one, user add. User add is nothing but a, if you want to create a user, normal user in the Linux machine. So if you want to create a normal user in the Linux machine, you can use the user add. User add to create a new user account. What is that? User add to create a new user account. User add options, username. So what are the options? -u is nothing but UID. If you want to if you want to provide a specific UID, you can use the UID. If you want to give a specific primary group, you can provide the primary group. If you want to provide a secondary group, capital G. So D is nothing but a home directory, C is nothing but a comment, S is nothing but a shell. This is nothing but a shell. Guys, understand? So whenever you create a user, the user details are going to store under the /etc passwd. The user details will be stored under the /etc passwd. The user information will be available at the /etc password. The group information will be available under the /etc group. The password information will be available under the /etc shadow. Right. So whenever you create a user, the user details are going to store under the /etc password database file, and user passwords are going to store under the /etc shadow database file. /etc shadow database file. Yes, understood? Yeah. So the user passwords are going to store under the /etc shadow. Let's check. So the user details will be stored under the /etc pass WD. So in the pass WD, the user information will be available. So 0 is the root user and BlueJTech is the normal user. Okay. So BlueJTech is the normal user. So you see guys, these all are the system related users up to 995. You see guys. So it is no has been no login, 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 has been no login. But only only root having the bin bash. What is bin bash? What is has been no login? What is bin bash and what is has been no login? Shell. What is that guys? Shell. You already know, right? Shell. What is a shell? If you are interacting with that server, how you can interact with the server? You can interact with the server through shell only. So shell is used to interact with the system to know how many shells to know how many cells are available in /etc cells. Cat/etc cell, it will display the how many cells are available. So how many cells are available, it will display it. Yeah. So how many cells? So bin sh, so bin bash, user bin sh, user bin bash. Okay, these are all the shells. So bin bash is the default shell for all Linux Unix users. What is that, guys? Bin bash is the bin bash is the default shell for all Linux Unix users. Bin bash is the default shell for all Linux Unix users. Has been no login. Has been no login is a special shell which gives no interaction with the system. What is that, guys? Has been no login. So what is that? Has been no login. If you have a has been no login, so it will not interact with the system. Okay. So has been no login is a special cell which gives no interaction with the system. Generally, all service user accounts are assigned with the service account. System related service accounts will be assigned with the no login s. Okay. So yeah. So grep no login slash etc password to see the users with no login shells. So echo shell to know which working shell you are using. Already which shell we are using? Bin bash. I already told you, right, guys? Which shell I am using? Bin bash. So that is the reason I am able to access. So if you have a has been no login, for example, user add hurry, user add hyphen s has been no login hurry, pass wd hurry, red hat. Okay. So cat slash etc pass wd grep hyphen I hurry. Let's see. Yeah, hurry is used or else. Yeah, you see, guys. Hurry user is used with has been no login. So BlueJet is bin bash. Okay. Has been no login is a special cell which gives no interaction with the system. Let's see. Duplicate session. What is that, guys? Hurry. What is the password? Red hat. Access denied. Okay. You see, guys. Duplicate session. What is the username? Hurry. Red hat. You see. So it will not providing the interaction. It will not providing the server access. Has been no login is a special cell. So it's a special cell which gives no interaction with the system. If you have a bin bash, I will tell you. Okay. Okay. To assign a password for the user account, you can use the passwd username. What is that? How you can set the password for the username? Passwd username. Passwd username. Passwd options username. What are the options? Hyphen L lock the password. Hyphen U unlock the password. Hyphen D delete the password. Passwordless login. Hyphen S status. User add user one. User add user 1, user add hyphen u 1010 user 2. You are providing a specific UID. So user add hyphen g HR user 3. So you are assigning a primary group to the primary group as a HR. So user add hyphen capital G HR user 4. So in the user 4 you are assigning a secondary group as a HR. So user add hyphen G HR. So primary group is HR, hyphen G finance is the secondary group for the user 5. So user add hyphen has been no login user 6. Okay. So that user 6 is unable to interact with the system. User add hyphen C is nothing but a comment. So comment FTP user hyphen S is nothing but a has been no login. That user doesn't have user 7 user doesn't have the access and they provided the comment. Okay. Fields in the slash etc password. So what are the fields? Instructor, the password something like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So what these are? So one is nothing but a username, second is nothing but a password, third is nothing but a UID, fourth is nothing but a group ID, fifth is nothing but a user info, sixth is nothing but a home directory. This is the home directory for the user, and 7 is nothing but a shell. Shell is nothing but a bin bash or sbin no login. If you are having sbin no login, you are unable to interact with the system. If you have a bin bash, you are able to interact with the system. Guys, understood? Fields in the slash etc shadow. Shadow is nothing but a password. So instructor. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So one is a username. It is your login name. Password. It is encrypted password. So last password change. So this is a last password change. And the fourth is a minimum, the minimum number of days required between password change, the number of days left before you use the allow allowed. The maximum number of days the password is valid. After that, user is forced to change his or password. So warning. So we will get the warning for 7 days, for example. So your password must will expire in 7 days. Your password will must be expire in 6 days, 5 days, 4 days, 3 days, 2 days, 1 days. After 1 day, your password will expire. So inactive. The number of days after password expire that account is disabled. Expire days since Jan 1st, 1970 that account is disabled. That is an absolute date specifying when the login may so the may no longer. Okay, user mod. So what is that? If you want to create a user, you can use user add. If you want to modify a user, you can use user mod. If you want to delete a user, you can use user del. What is that? User add, user mod, user del, pass, wd, group add, group add. So what these are? So user add to create the user account. To create the user account, you can use the user add. So to modify the created user account. To delete the user. Delete the user. Pass wd is nothing but a to set or create the password for a user. Group add to create a group. Okay. Yeah. So user mod to modify a user account properties without deleting the user account. So to modify a user account properties without deleting the user account. So user add to create a new user account. To create a new user account. For example, we will keep this is what is user add as to create a new user account. So what is to assign a password for a user account? To assign a password for the to assign a password for the user account. Okay. So what is it? User mod to modify the user account without deleting. To modify the user account without deleting. User del to delete the user account. To delete the user account. Group to create a system group. So to create a system group. Guys, understood? So this is nothing but a user account. I will tell you. Yeah. So user mod to modify user account properties without deleting a user account. User mod options name. So options -u user ID, primary group, secondary group, shell. So comment space. So D home directory. L is nothing but a login name. To add a user to add a user to multiple secondary groups, user mod -g group user. So to remove a user from the secondary group, you can use the g passwd -d username group name. To delete the user, modify the user. So here, what is the user? Hari user. Hari user having the has been no login. I want to set the bin bash. Okay. User mod -s bin bash. Before it is has been no login. Okay. If you use the hash symbol before the command, it will not execute. There is nothing but a comment. Okay. Cat /etc passwd pipe grep -i. What is that, guys? Hari user. So Hari user is having no has been no login. I want to modify that user mod Hari. Okay. I'm changing the login prompt, login shell has been no login to bin bash. Let's try. Before I am unable to log into the server, but now let's try. Hari, what is the password, guys? Red hat. You see, now I'm able to access. Let's see the so it's modified to bin bash. It's modified to bin bash. Yes, understood? So user del. User del is nothing but to delete a user account. User del options username. Hyphen options or hyphen R recursively delete everything. Hyphen F delete forcefully if the account is logged in. The account is logged in also, it will delete. So recursively delete everything. So user del username removes the user account, but it won't delete his data. Means, so when you create a user account, right? The user account home directory is the user account home directory is yeah. So home Hari user. If you see, if you delete the user del Hari. So user Hari is currently logged in by process, right? So you want to forcefully remove or forcefully delete. So Hari user, right? That's the reason I'm unable to use pass. User del -f Hari. Okay. So -rf Hari user is does not exist because of it's already deleted. It's already deleted. So the user group also will be available. You see? So the home directory is not deleted. If you want to delete rm-rf/home Hari. So which directory is delete? The last directory will be deleting. /home. Yeah, there is no Hari. So here specifying the user del user one removes the user current user, it won't delete his data. User del -rf user one removes everything related to user one. Okay, note the default user administration options are available in login defs /etc login dot defs /etc default user add. When we are creating a user account, the /etc is the db password file, shadow is the user password file, /etc group is the group information. Okay, home directory creates under /home username. So user email box is created. This is not available. ID username. What is the ID username? So with this will get a user along with the group's information. So finger username, it gives the user information. So what is that, guys? id root. Okay, it will give the user id, gid, all the groups information. Finger root. What is that, guys? So finger. Hmm? Finger. Yeah, we need to install the finger, I think. No, I think it will be available in CentOS 7. I think might be it not available in the CentOS 9. Okay. Yeah. So chase command. So what is the last command, guys? Chase command. Change user password expiry information. Chase command is chase change is change change user password expiry information. The change command changes the number of days between password changes and the date of the last password change. So this information will be So this information is used by the system to determine when the user must change his or password. So chase options username. What are the options? -D, set the date of the last password change. E, set a account expiration date. -I is nothing but inactive after expiration. L is nothing but a show account again aging information, maximum number of before change, minimum number of before change. So set expiration. Chase -L hurry shows the password again aging information for the user hurry. Okay. So the chase -M3 capital M60 so for example hurry. So min days 5, max days 60, warning days 5, inactive 5 for the user hurry. So chase -D 0 hurry to preempt user change password for the first login. For example, Chaitanya joined as a new company. So in the company, administrator create a user account for the Krishna and they set the password as a red hat. But that password is know the administrator, right? User must and should change the password after first login. Okay, so if you want to change the password, because of admin also know that password, right? Admin also utilize that password and delete something. So who will the responsible person? User is the responsible person. That's the reason we need to change the password after first login. Chase -D 0 hurry to preempt user change password at first login. Okay, so change password at first login. I will show you. So chase -L blue J tech. You see, last password change December 19, 2024, and password expires never. Everything is never, and maximum change 0 will change 999, and warning is 7. These all are the default ones. So if you want to change it to, if you want change it, okay, blue J tech. Okay, you see, so before it is never, but it's a changed, but it's a changed. For example, user add hurry, creating a hurry, creating mailbox file already exists. Chase -D 0 blue j tech. Okay, let's try to access through blue j tech. Blue j tech username password is red hat. You see, it is asking the change the password for the user. So what is the current password? Red hat. You are setting as a CentOS. 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 Mhm. Okay, you can change the password as a BlueJTech, Red Hat, Red Hat, no passwords, CentOS @123, CentOS @123. Okay, the password is changed. Duplicate session, BlueJTech, CentOS @123. CentOS @123. Yeah, you see guys. So in the first login you change it, and I change which the with the change password I connected through this blue JTAG. Guys understood? So this is nothing but a user information, user administration. Guys understood? Guys understood? Guys, are you there?
Yeah, getting to understand this is going okay.
Okay, okay. You guys can watch the recording, then you will understand.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
When we watch the recording, we can understand better.
yeah, yeah.
When
So
we
there is
watch it
no
with
class on tomorrow, guys, because of
yes.
the festival. Okay. So we'll continue from day after tomorrow. Okay. Izzy?
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah. Izzy, I'm
Thank
calling you.
you.
Yeah, yeah. So Izzy, I'm calling you.
Okay.